All right, so I need to know, what is the best Facebook Marketplace deal you've ever made when it comes to guitars or guitar-related gear? Like, what is the thing where the incident happened, you called your friends and you were like, hey, remember me? I just made the deal of a lifetime. You see, like a lot of people, for me, Facebook Marketplace deals have always been sort of this strange thing, right? I've had my bad experiences, I've had my weird experiences, I've had my really good experiences where for some reason I ended up meeting like the love of my life, this random pink custom one-of-a-kind telly that I traded a PRS for. By the way, if you want to know more about that story, the link is in the description. But it's always been this thing that I've circled back to, and one of the cooler experiences actually happened about 6 months ago. And to give you some context to what made that experience so cool, way back in the day, like way back, right after I finished college, my first job was actually working at a guitar store. And it was not the greatest experience in the world, but one of the things I would remember is while we were killing time when no one was in the store, which was very often, we would all tell random stories and talk about random things. Most of them wouldn't even be guitar related, but one of the guitar related products that everyone in that store was obsessed with, literally everyone, happened to be this little 100-watt practice amp called a Boss Katana. Now, I didn't see the merit in talking about this thing all the time. It was just this little solid state amp. I was looking for bigger and better things. I thought it was so stupid. But years later, when I started like reviewing stuff on YouTube, I saw one on Facebook Marketplace. It was used for like 200 bucks. I was like, let me go downtown and pick it up. I'll see what I think about it. I'll trash it. Maybe I won't even make a video about it. So I come back to this room, I open my door, I plug in the amp, and wouldn't you know, I was so wrong, and I was floored with what this thing could do. I mean, the tones it could get for that price, along with the software and all the presets that you could save, I was the Boss Katana simp. I loved it so much, in fact, so much that 10 days after buying it, I actually decided to sell it. And you might be like, Mike, why in the world, if you loved it so much, would you sell it? The reason for that is actually because right after I bought mine, the Boss Katana MKII Artist Head actually came out. And what that is this is like a Boss Katana going Super Saiyan, like straight Super Saiyan 2 even, right? This thing was bigger, it could save more presets, it had more tonal variations. Like, this was a Boss Katana on a different level. And I was like, this could be the ultimate workhorse amp in my studio. Like, what could this thing actually do? So I got it, I reviewed it, and I liked it. And it slowly got me thinking, right? Because people know about the Boss Katana. People like Marty Schwartz, some amazing guitarists, use this as their workhorse amp, and it's for a reason. It's really great. But when it comes to the MK2 Artist Head, I felt so much like this is currently one of the most slept on solid state amps out there because of just how much it can do. So as with any piece of gear primarily, I really like the way this thing sounds, especially in the clean tones. I was noticing a lot of really low end response that I really liked, so it felt full without having way too much like brightness that almost turns into thinness. Here's the thing that I really like. There's kind of like a simplicity to this amp. You see, unlike a lot of the other modelers like the Fender Mustangs and everything, you're not modeling after a specific amp. Like, you're not going for a Fender Pound or a Bach sound specifically, and that simplicity is kind of what feeds again into this workhorse thing. This thing is simple. It doesn't pretend to not be simple, and I really like that. You're not going to spend hours and hours tweaking. You're just going to plug and play, like for specific purposes, for like a live gig. If you needed to change the setting on the fly, you just switch to lead and you go, especially if you have the foot switch. Also, with this amp specifically, there are two main X factors that make this thing the workhorse of workhorses. And the first is the attenuator. And I've noticed that just with digital amps in general, like asking yourself the question of versatility, how many places can I actually use this specific model in? And it's like, you get so many more options when you have the attenuator, when you have a half a watt, as well as having 100 watts and having 50 watts. So if you're going for like the cover band thing, which is what I've heard a lot of people say they've used like a Boss Katana in, if you're like a cover band in the city player, or if you're like, just like me, bedroom player, turning it down to half a watt. Like, that's huge. The other thing, and probably the most important thing I dare say with this unit specifically, actually has nothing to do with the front of the amp. It has a lot of cool things that a lot of other amps I've seen don't have, like the contour button and the ability to change like the cab resonance to like modern, vintage, whatever. But I think this amp really shines when you actually turn this around. Because here's where you have your line out, your power amp in, and the actual ability to use this as an interface. So not only can you record out like I was just doing, but you can actually use this as an interface working with Logic, whatever. So you don't even have to use the Boss software if you were somewhere else. You can even change the actual air feel coming out of the amp. So you can change whether it be better suited to a live setting or a recording setting. What other amp can do all of this and still not feel overwhelming and keep a level of like simplicity and not using that as like a dirty word? So I want to keep it 100, as the kids say. I want to keep it as real as possible. I'm not here to tell you that this amp sounds better than like a classic hand-wired 64 Princeton reverb, or that this Boss Katana is like the best sounding amp that I've ever used. No. But I'm here to keep it straight. This thing as a workhorse gets so underlooked. And I'm not saying Boss Katana specifically, because people know about the Boss Katana. People know what this amp can do. Just like going back to my days when I was working at a guitar store, people rave about like how practical that amp is, whether it's a practice amp or as like a bedroom amp. But the fact that this has been able to upgrade to that thing right there and be so versatile and be able to be used for so many different practical purposes, kind of blowing my mind. And I'm kind of upset that it's going under the radar like it is. I think Soundwise as well with some of the like lower end tube amps. I think this thing sounds just as good and can do more with the software, and just being able to have it in the corner and not being able to move it and have the Boss software also kind of embrace the simplicity. Like, this thing is a beast. But I want to know what you think. Have you tried the Boss Katana Artist Head MK2? What did you think about it? Are you a Boss Katana person in general? Or are you a bass player and you're like, Mike, what the heck are you even talking about? I just go DI and don't think about the rest. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the Artist MK2 head or any of the other gear used in this video, I got it from Sweetwater. The links are in the description. Make sure to check it out. It's one of the best ways to support the channel if that's something you want to do, or if you're just curious about any of the gear, make sure to check out those links. Like and subscribe if you had a good time. And most important of all, like most importantly, have a fantastic day. Down here on into some complications. Boom, 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 boom.